Collins. Thanks so much for joining us. We have a whole lot to get to tonight, but first, we want to get a check of the forecast with meteorologist Ramisha Shade. Ramisha, another hot and steamy one out there today.
But I am not complaining. We had so many days of clouds, heavy rain. It was kind of getting a little dull and depressing. I needed the sunshine.
That is true.
Yes, I'm thankful for the sun, and the heat's not so bad. Because
Definitely.
I've been in here most of the day, so I didn't have to be out in it too much. So for those that have to work out there, though, it could be an issue. So as we always say, be careful, make sure to hydrate, find the shaded spots, take breaks, do what you can to stay safe. Common sense stuff.
Definitely.
All right, let's talk about your forecast. Let's head over to our graphics, your weather headlines. And we do have a few more storms that will likely be around for tomorrow, which is Juneteenth. So if you are going out to any festivities, maybe you just want to hang out at the beach, maybe you have errands to run, watch out for a few more of those downpours returning. The heat building, though, as we get closer to the summer season, which starts Friday evening. And we continue to track what has become a very powerful hurricane in the Eastern Pacific. For the Gulf, the Caribbean, it's been a super quiet start to hurricane season so far. It's been just the opposite, though, for the East Pacific. We've already had 5 named systems, and now we are still dealing with Eric, which is a Category 2 hurricane getting close to southern Mexico. So winds now up to 110 miles per hour, gusts to 130 miles per hour, and moving northwest at 9 miles per hour. You can see this hurricane looking very ominous and impressive at the same time on our tropical satellite. You can see that well-defined eye and eye wall, the structure just looking like a classic strong hurricane, and it is getting close to southern Mexico, likely making landfall as a major Category 3 hurricane east of Acapulco early tomorrow morning, dumping maybe up to 20 inches of rain and bringing the chance for some hurricane force winds to southern Mexico. So I think most of that stays far away from us. We are going to have the chance for a few showers and storms here through the next few days and really through the weekend. But if you're going to be cruising over towards Cozumel, Cancun, Bahamas, maybe Jamaica, Puerto Rico, I don't think there will be any tropical troubles, at least through early next week. All right, we've got a lot of events going on in Galveston tomorrow. So if you are going to be participating in some of those, or maybe just going to enjoy some time at the beach, keep in mind it's going to be hot and humid out there, close to 90, with a chance for a few afternoon storms. But also there will be a very high rip currents risk, so watch out for that. Hanging out in H-Town, there will be a higher chance for those downpours, a 40% shot, and plenty of heat outside of the rain. Middle 90s, low 90s, feels like temps, Caroline, in the triple digits. So it's that time of the year. This is going to be the trend through the rest of this month, and then it's probably going to get worse in July and August.
Yes, it's making my morning walks much more difficult.
I know, you got to get out there a little earlier now, or late. But during the middle of the day, not happening.
Either one doesn't work well with our schedules. So
exactly. Because working late, you want to sleep in.
Yep.
And when you get off, you want to go relax.
Exactly.
And go to bed.
So yeah, it's been hot and sweaty. Thank you. Thank you, though. Thanks, Ramisha. We still love you. All right, now to a sad news update that we have been following all this afternoon and evening. A small child was killed in a major accident on the Gulf Freeway at Bay Area Boulevard today. Webster police, fire, and EMS arrived to find a Chevrolet sedan that struck a concrete barrier, apparently after losing control and crossing several lanes of traffic. Multiple people were injured and transported to different area hospitals. Now, this crash is under investigation. And we're also following this story. Many immigrants who have their asylum court hearings are now afraid to show up because many are having their cases dismissed and then they're being arrested by ICE. So this was the case for one man in Houston who had his case denied. Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia did speak with the man and his attorney about how they were able to release him from custody.
This man is a Mexican native and has been living in the country for more than 20 years. For a moment, he thought he would be separated from his family. Due to fear, he asked us to hide his identity.
For now, it's scary. All the family is scary. My children is scary for this process that will happening. And after the court, I have it. my children, our family, very scary.
It's something we're seeing across the country. Immigrants showing up to their asylum court hearings, they have their case dismissed, and as they walk out of court, ICE agents are waiting for them outside to arrest them.
Surprised because ICE was outside and tried to take me, and my lawyer helped me to not take.
For this particular case, it wasn't dismissed, but one of his relief applications were denied.
His case, he's clearly still in court proceedings. We reserved appeal, and whenever you reserve that type of substantive appeal, there's something called a stay of removal. During that time, they cannot be removed.
This Mexican native is a father of 3 and is a sole breadwinner of his family.
I support my family all the time, pay my taxes, not take help for the government, no stamps, no Medicare.
And while many are living in fear, immigration attorneys advise anyone with an immigration court hearing to show up, even if their cases are dismissed.
There is relief that you can still get if you are afraid of returning to your country, even if your case is dismissed. Just be willing to articulate, express that fear. Don't be afraid and not say it.
Missing out on a court hearing could result in being banned from the country a minimum of 5 years. Reporting in the studio, Jonathan Mejia, Fox 26 News.
Well, police are continuing this hour their search for a woman who went missing while riding a jet ski in Lake Houston yesterday. Search crews were back on the water this afternoon looking for any sign of her. Harris County Commissioner Rodney Ellis says dive teams are searching the Dewson Park area where that woman disappeared in the water. The park is closed until further notice. Well, this story is just another reminder of how important safety is, no matter if you are in a pool, in a lake, or around any water at all. So joining us is now Houston Fire Department Captain Bo Moreno of the Marine Unit to talk all about water safety. And I can't think of a more important time of year to really stress this and get this message out to our audience who may be spending a lot more time in the water. It's hot here in Houston. So what's your message to people doing summer activities by water?
We are getting into the summer season, so people are going to be more into the water. So always have a plan. Be safe out there. Have a plan in case of an emergency. And if you have that plan, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
I love that. And you brought a lot of props here to kind of demonstrate what you need if you are going to be headed out by water.
A lot of things go on. So right now in the state of Texas, if you're under 12 years old, you are required to wear a life jacket the whole time you're on a boat. So, and then additionally, anytime you're on a jet ski, personal watercraft, you're also required to wear a life jacket on the water.
And people, I feel like, think that you're safe because you're in the boat, but that's not always the case.
No, things can change in a moment's notice. It happened before. It's happened to even firefighters. That happened to.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about an emergency on a boat or just something unexpected or just a kid just messing around and falling into the water, right?
Exactly. And sometimes there's things under the water we don't even see while we're operating our boats. And so there's another obstacle that sometimes we have to pay attention to.
Well, I feel like operating a boat in general can be just as dangerous as driving a car.
You are. And so actually you have to have a driver's license. And here's your Texas Boater Safety Card. Anybody born after September 1st, 1993 is required by law to have a boater safety card.
Wow. I mean, that's very important, and I'm sure that there's protocols that you have to follow out on the water too.
Correct. There are rules of the road for boats, and a lot of people don't understand or don't think that is the case. But yes, there are rules of the road that you have to pay attention to.
And you said the kids are required to wear a life jacket while they're on the boat. What about adults? What are the rules, or what's recommended for adults?
So anybody over the age 13 and up, you don't have to wear it, but you are required to have that on the boat. And so there's two types of life jackets. There's ones that are non-inflatable and then inflatables. And so the big thing with the inflatables is just you need to check and make sure that they're serviced and ready to go. There's a little green dot on here, and if the green dot's not there, it's red, that means it's out of service and you need to replace the cartridge.
Oh, so it inflates and deflates?
It inflates when you fall in the water.
Oh, okay. Oh, I've never seen one like that.
Yeah, so like if you're out there fishing and you don't really want this big bulky life jacket on, okay, now I'm a lot cooler and I have my life jacket on.
Oh, that's smart.
And then additionally, we have them for our pets too. This is something that we've added to our fleet in the Houston Fire Department. So we want to make sure that we're protecting the pets also.
Well, I know that we've covered different situations where people will literally jump off a boat, just think they're going swimming. Maybe they know how to swim and everything's fine, but they never come up out of the water. And
even great swimmers are prone to accidents. We don't know when an accident's going to happen. And so, we all need to be prepared and have those plans in place.
What's the most common issue that you see out on the water? Is it drowning? What is it?
Well, probably the most common thing that we see is not drowning, but it's boating while intoxicated. So
Ooh.
that's also, just because you're on a boat doesn't mean you're exempt from the law. You can still get a DUI, boating while intoxicated, charge right there. So it's something else to pay attention to.
Definitely. I mean, you have to have a designated sober driver if
Yes.
you're going to be out on a boat.
Yes.
Wow. Where can people go for more information about water safety?
So they can check out Texas Parks and Wildlife and find a boater safety course on there. They can check out other websites. NASBLA is another great resource of places like that.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Captain Moreno, thank you so much for filling us in on water safety. It's so important to just take that extra precaution and stay safe this summer. We don't want to have to call you guys out for any tragedies out there.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, now let's turn to a disturbing case in Southeast Houston. A man is accused of killing his girlfriend and then sending a photo of her body to his family. Tonight, he is in custody and the victim's family is speaking out. Fox 26's Jillian Hartman went to the scene and has that heartbreaking message.
Well, we are following a horrific story. Police say a woman was shot and killed by her boyfriend inside their apartment here last night along McHenry Street. This was video of the scene. The suspect then allegedly sent a photo of her body to his sister, who then alerted police and the victim's family. Now, when officers arrived here around 9 last night, they found the woman dead after being shot multiple times. After searching for hours, they located the boyfriend in the Willowbrook area around 3 this morning and took him into custody. The victim's sister said the couple was living together and had been dating for years. She described their relationship as volatile. She said her sister did not deserve this.
She's loved her kids, of course, loved her dad more than anything I can say. Very free-spirited, happy, someone who's just, she would do what she can for those that need it.
Now, police say the suspect also shot a man in the parking lot here last night in an unrelated case, and that man is expected to live. Police say they believe the suspect may have been struggling with mental health issues. HPD is investigating, and at this time, the suspect's name has not been released. I'm Jillian Hartman, Fox 26 News.
Well, as he faces felony charges for money laundering, as well as a misdemeanor charge of misrepresentation of identity, Fort Bend County Judge KP George is also switching parties. Fox 26's reporter Greg Grugan has the details of what happened.
Grugan, talk about the move, man, from one party to the next.
First things first, gotta say Fox 26 was the first and only media source to predict this development well before it happened. Now, look, everybody has been hearing about Judge George's problems. He's facing multiple criminal indictments, from race baiting, online impersonation, or at least being a part of that, to political money laundering. He says he's being victimized by Democrats who are making a power grab. Today, he announced not only a political divorce, but also a new political home. Let's have a listen.
As I make the all-important announcement that I am officially joining the Republican Party, for the past few years has become very clear to me, and also many others, that Democratic Party has become one of corrupt and radical political ideology and positions that simply do not reflect the values of Fort Bend County families and small businesses, also hardworking residents of Fort Bend County. I have always believed in foundational American principles of faith, family, and freedom. And I realize that the Republican Party that champions these values, I am not backing down, and I will not, because I haven't done anything wrong. Like President Trump, I will stand up and fight against the radical leftists who seek to tear down the values we hold very close to our heart. Radicals like our Fort Bend County District Attorney, who has been brought and paid by the notorious George Soros, who funded the campaign. When Fort Bend County District Attorney and his fellow liberal elites realized I wasn't going to fall in line with their increasingly radical agenda, this is the solution they found kick me out of there. If they can come after me and people like me, and every citizen in Fort Bend County should be scared. I choose a side, and it turned out to be the wrong place, and I'm fixing it, and that's what I'm doing today. We will press forward with the common sense conservative agenda that serves all Fort Bend residents.
You just go ahead and take it.
Yeah, all right. So I got to follow up here. So in that press conference, he said the Democrats were corrupt and radical. Right. With his, charges that he's currently facing. The Republican Party, why would that be beneficial to have KP George come on their side? Is it the enemy of my enemy is my friend? What's the positioning there?
Anthony, it's about deliverables. Look, with KP George shifting to the Republicans, they have a 3-2 advantage on Fort Bend County Commissioner's Court. First order of business, redrawing the political boundaries so that they're more fair, and they'll probably be more fair to Republicans. That's a deliverable. He's still the county judge of Fort Bend County. And so, look, George says he is definitely running for re-election, and he's going to run as a Republican. Will he be accepted by Republicans in Fort Bend County? If we're looking at social media, there's a lot of pushback, but maybe he can earn their respect.
I imagine this is a topic of discussion on What's Your Point?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can count on that.
All right, Greg. Thanks a lot, my man.
All right. We'll be right back. So did you know that there is a place to go out in Katy where you and your kids can play in the dirt on some big commercial-sized tractors? I only know about this because of my co-anchor Rashi Vats, but today on Texas Live and Local or Houston Live and Local, one of our shows, Texas Live and Local, Coco and Anthony learned a little bit more about all the fun you can have out at Dig World.
Of course. How long is Dick? I remember when you guys laid the foundation.
That's right. Yeah, we go way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 years. We've been open for 3 years, which is crazy to think about. It feels like yesterday, but 3 years.
All right. Tell everyone what it is if you've never been to Dig
that's
World.
right. So we are a park where we actually let kids and adults operate real construction equipment. So we let you drive excavators, skid steers, UTVs. We take you high up in the sky in a boom lift, but we truly let you operate all of it.
There we go.
So we're watching some great video here. And what has been the response from families, man, from year 1 to year 3?
Yeah, I think great, right? I mean, obviously I'm a little biased, but people love it, right? No, people have been coming from all over the state, all over the country. It's super humbling, letting kids and even kids at heart is what we say, operate the real construction equipment. So it's been a true blast.
That's amazing. I mean, just the idea alone, because you see those, hey, take a look at that, but you guys are given opportunities. So how do you get in? Is there a pass, a season pass?
That's a great question. So yeah, you can do a general admission, walk-up ticket, whatever you prefer. We also do have season passes. You can buy an individual, a 3-pack, a 5-pack, whatever's best for you and the family.
Go ahead. I was wondering how you keep it in the summer. How do you keep it?
Yeah, it's like I tell guests, it's shocking. It's hot outside,
yeah.
right? So come prepared. We do have shade. We've got misters. We got a little indoor section where you can go in, do some arts and crafts activities in the AC. Nice. But other than that, it's hot.
Listen, man, how did you come up with this idea? Because this is super original. You know what I mean? How, did you have some background in construction and kind of in the field? Like what came up with that?
Great question. None at all.
Kids?
Nothing. No. So I've got 3 kids. My oldest son was born in 2015. He got sick in 2017, left him with a whole host of permanent disabilities and special needs. And so we wanted to create something that brought people together. And so we thought, hey, what's a super easy idea? Let's build a theme park. And so it was much harder than we thought. But really, he's the crux of it. The idea is, how do we just bring people together to create memories that last a lifetime? So that's our mission. That's our goal. Construction is our avenue of getting there.
I love this. I'm blown away. And correct me if I'm wrong. You guys were on Shark Tank?
We were, yes. I got to appear on Shark Tank. We aired this past March. And so, yeah, it was a crazy, phenomenal once-in-a-lifetime experience, but this show's better.
I love it. Wait, when did you sell on Shark Tank?
So we were selling franchises for Dig World. So we went on, pitched the Sharks to help us expand franchises across the country. It went well. We've sold 5 franchises. We're hoping to sell many, many more in the years to come.
Congratulations. And it started here in Houston?
Started here in Houston, right here in Katy.
For sure.
Y'all hiring?
I'm joking.
I'm joking. I mean, the business is growing, right? So
That's right. But
I bet that gives the kids the opportunity to see if that's a field that they want to get into.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of the many things that we get to accomplish there is introducing kids to the world of construction, saying, hey, listen, there's not only a ton of jobs out there, but it's a fun, unique career path, and we highly encourage you to go down it. So we have educational things throughout the park. We do a ton of field trips for local ISDs all around the Houston area, really educating kids on this space, this opportunity, and really giving that hands-on experience.
10 out of 10, my man.
Thank you.
10 out of 10.
Where
sure. Can families reach out and go to get more information, to buy a pass, or pay you a visit?
Yeah, great question. So visit our website, digworldnation.com. We'll walk you through it there, and you have all the opportunities to book a birthday party, like I said, field trip, or just a general admission ticket.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, for
Glad
sure.
you guys are around for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
So in case you didn't know, it is hurricane season here in Houston now. So it is time to put together your hurricane preparedness kit just in case anything comes our way. So our meteorologists John Dawson and Heather Sullivan teamed up to tell you how to put one together for $100.
All right, it's the collaboration that you've been waiting for, the Hurricane Gear Test and Sullivan Smart Sense. I'm meteorologist John Dawson.
I'm consumer reporter Heather Sullivan, and we want to help you get ready this hurricane season. So we're going to help you put a kit together for $100 for a family of 4 that'll get you through 3 days.
All right, and I always talk about 5 important things that need to be covered, and so we're going to start with this as our starting point. You need food, you need water, you need a battery-powered light, because you got to plan that the electricity is going to go out, and that's the same for your phone charger. You're going to need to make sure you can charge your phone without electricity in your house, and also that all-important first aid kit.
And what I did was I used a great article from Real Simple magazine that lists a lot of the healthy foods you can choose that will keep in a power outage. So let's dive in. Of course, you've got your staples, your peanut butter, your crackers, some granola bars, some bagged nuts, some trail mix. Just choose some healthy options. Think about dried fruit. You got raisins, apricots. If you are able to do some cooking, maybe you've got a camping stove or you want to get one, you could do some pasta, some tomato sauce. You can also do your canned vegetables and beans, heat those up. You've got lots of canned meats these days, tuna, salmon, chicken, turkey. You've got your canned soups, canned chili. And the article also talks about go ahead and get some non-perishables. You're going to buy these a day or two before the storm is expected to hit. And you want to think about produce gives you some more nutrition, but think about it with skin. So citrus, apples, tomatoes, cucumbers, avocados. You can get a loaf of bread, and also you can think about getting some, powdered milk. And remember, you want to have a gallon of water per person per day. So we got 12 of these. And think about maybe some sports drinks that have some electrolytes to help keep you hydrated.
All right, and I like the fact you've got the can opener
Yeah.
sitting up here, because if you're going to have cans, make sure that you can
Yeah.
kind of have a way to get into those as well. Talked about a light. This is a great, just inexpensive package that I found. It cost about $9. You've got more than one light in here. I don't like candles, so get something with some LED lights. No candles, please. There is some phone charging options that are out there. This one is not on the cheap side of things, but it'll also give you a radio and a flashlight. The cheapest thing to do is to buy a charger for your car. Just double check the connections, whatever your car connects to, whatever your phone connects to, get that done. And then, of course, finally, we got a great first aid kit that you picked up last year.
Yeah, and I got that for $7. They go on up from there, but you can just get the essentials in case, it's dark, someone trips, you've got, just need a little first aid kit. But take a look at our overall spend. So I spent about $75. Again, food and water for 4 people for 3 days. You can get a light kit like JD has, about $10. Cell phone chargers start about $6. That first aid kit, $7. So our total spend was $100 to power you through a power outage for 3 days, keep you comfortable and healthy.
All right, find more information on both of our franchises here on Fox Local.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. a Kingwood couple almost lost $8,000 in an elaborate scheme through Wells Fargo, which we first reported on back in February. Our Fox 26's Randy Wallace is joining us from Kingwood to tell us more about this update. Randy.
Now, Joan Leon had every reason to believe she was talking to Wells Fargo Bank. After they called her, she goes on her computer and she matches the number. That's the Wells Fargo Bank number. The person that she's talking to, they're telling her about all the recent transactions. But then later, the bank told her that they got scooped, meaning unauthorized parties intercepted phone lines and accounts. We spoke to her and her husband this afternoon. Here's a little bit of that interview.
I just got a phone call out of the blue saying my debit card was compromised, they believe, at a local Walmart and Sam's Club. The phone call was coming from our local branch of Wells Fargo, so I felt secure that I was speaking to someone of authority.
They're telling you things that only
Right.
the bank would know.
Well, and he's building my confidence, and he's telling me, you know, the card needs to be destroyed. It's been compromised. You need to cut it up. We have a fraud representative in the bank, and I can send that person to your house to pick up the cut up card. And you just cut the card in half.
You got a picture of a young woman coming
Yes.
and picking it up.
Yes, and this person, she was going to, it turned out to be a woman, was going to put it in the envelope. She had an envelope there. She was also holding scissors, I guess, in case I hadn't cut it up.
But you believe the woman who showed up to get the card went over to a Kroger a mile away from you and got almost $8,000.
Oh, she did. Absolutely. There's film showing it, yeah.
Wells Fargo at one point accused you of somehow taking part in this.
Yes, so when they denied the claim, they said the claim was denied after their investigation. They believe that I took part in it or someone I knew has withdrawn the funds.
What did you think? Them trying to blame you?
I was highly insulted and offended by the bank that they would do that without speaking to me and without disclosing what information they had that they came to that conclusion.
Yeah, you'll probably remember, Caroline, back in February, we did a story with Heather Sanders. She was a Wells Fargo bank customer. Same exact scheme happened to her. Now, after we aired that story, Wells Fargo did return her $4,000. The Leons got their almost $8,000 back, but the bank didn't explain why they were returning it. Reporting live from Kingwood, Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
Oh boy, Randy, big lesson there though. Don't ever cut your card up and hand it off to somebody. That is a major red flag.
Major no-no. Yes, you're absolutely right.
All right, thanks, Randy. All right, now let's bring in our reporter, Abigail Dye. We told you about a story and a case about a year ago, and it is very disturbing now.
It is.
What this man is being accused of. It's almost hard to believe whenever we're talking about the story that this actually happens.
It really is. And as women, I feel like this kind of a thing is one of our worst nightmares. So this man is accused of recording a woman while she was in a bathroom in a Houston brewery. And this happened just about a year ago in July of last year. This man was charged just a few days ago, arrested yesterday. And I went out and talked to this woman today about what happened. Here's a little bit of that conversation.
And I had to go to the restroom. And while I was in the restroom, I noticed someone's arm with a camera filming as I was using the restroom.
And in those moments, what went through your mind?
Just shock, anger, unbelievable at that time.
Once you realized this was happening, what happened next? What did you do?
I immediately screamed and yelled at the person to, who are you, leave or whatever. And I ran out of the restroom and tried to chase that person down.
Wow. That's okay. I mean,
Terrifying,
first of all,
right?
if that ever happens to you, please step on that phone and
Yes.
call for help, because
And
unfortunately, it does happen.
It does. And that's one of those things. This woman, says that she yelled, made a scene. And that's definitely what you want to do in that kind of a situation. You don't want to clam up. Even though it might be scary, everyone reacts differently. But yeah, this man has now been arrested and charged. And he is on an immigration hold because of an immigration violation. Doesn't necessarily mean that he was in the country illegally. It is possible that this felony charge is now a violation of whatever visa he could have been on. But, that's something that ICE has to answer for us.
Ooh, all right. Well, I'm glad that woman is okay.
Yes.
And that this is all being resolved. And because of stories like this, I'm absolutely petrified to go into fitting rooms, public bathrooms, you name it.
It is really unfortunate. Yeah, 12 charges of invasive visual recording have been recorded here in Harris County so far this year.
Oh,
so like
gosh.
you said, it does happen, and it's something that you want to be vigilant about. I don't want to scare people, but it's an unfortunate reality.
I'm always trying to look around, but sometimes in this case, you would never expect that to happen. You're at a brewery, it's a public bathroom.
No.
That was just really alarming.
It really is. To look down and to see a phone under the bathroom stall, I can't imagine what was going through her mind at the time.
So invasive.
It is
disgusting.
Yeah, it's terrible. But I'll have this full story for you on Fox 26 News at 9. I'll identify the suspect, talk about the charge, and what's next.
All right, Abigail, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, let's go to the Sean Diddy Combs trial. It was put on pause today, actually, because a juror became very ill with vertigo on the way to the courthouse. So court will be in session tomorrow, will not be in session tomorrow because of Juneteenth, but it will resume on Friday. Now, Combs is not expected to take the stand. Sally McDonald and our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico, broke down the latest testimony.
The jury, Chris, has been looking at a lot of credit card statements, a lot of invoices having to do with the damages at the hotel rooms where these freak-offs were taking place. Now, one of the credit card bills will absolutely shock you.
$944,000 in 1 month. And that is going to be shocking to anyone who's an average person making an average salary.
Right. Now, that wasn't just all the damages, but that was some of the damages were on that massive credit card bill that he had.
Over $40,000 in damages, but that was added to a $900,000 credit card bill in 1 month. So if I was his lawyer, I'm talking about to him first, an average person is going to be offended by your living style, for A, with this credit card bill. Now we got to talk about this damages to a hotel room. That's over $40,000. That's more money than most of these people are making in a year. You did damage to a hotel room. And so these types of things are harmful to his defense.
Now, this testimony is being introduced. Why? Because they're trying to tie it to a criminal enterprise.
Well, it's piling on, is what it is, by the government, and making him look bad to the jury, and it's elements in the indictment of overt acts, if you will, in the indictment that adds to the enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the jury also saw nearly 20 minutes of video of these freak-offs yesterday. Did the prosecution want these to be shown to the jury? Because the defense said that the video shows, quote, powerful evidence that the sexual conduct was consensual.
The government did. Mm-hmm. Both parties here feel that the evidence in the tape helps them. Mm-hmm. The government feels that the freak-off videos help them show that this was non-consensual, and shows that makes the elements of the enterprise. The defense feels that when the jury sees these tapes, it clearly shows that Cassie Ventura was participating willingly in this. The jury may be so offended by this that they're not watching, and I think there was some proof of that when the judge had to admonish them to keep their headphones on.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that plays out.
Difficult for anyone to look at that. All right, the prosecution plans to rest their case on Friday, and then we'll see how long the defense takes. Chris, thanks so much.
You bet.
Joe Biden is celebrating Juneteenth in Galveston tomorrow for an event at Reedy Chapel AME Church. Fox 26's Leslie Delaspore is talking with some representatives at the church about what all is planned.
It's been 160 years since slaves were told they were free right here in Galveston, June 19, 1865. Well, this year, former President Joe Biden will be here at Reedy Chapel AME Church for a big celebration. Take a listen.
So we are excited, and I think excitement is maybe an understatement. Reedy Chapel has a tremendous history in that it was the first location of the first celebration of emancipation that happened in Galveston. So it was going to be special for us. Our day will start early around 1 o'clock on the parking lot with a family fun day. As we always do, at about 5:45, people will go over to the old Galveston courthouse and we will begin the reenactment of the original celebration of emancipation. And that included a procession from the old Galveston courthouse to the colored church on Broadway. And that colored church on Broadway was Reedy Chapel AME Church. And from that point, then we will enter into the church to have a service that really parallels the type of service that was held in 1866.
Although President Biden will only be at Reedy Chapel in the morning at Ashton Villa, the official Juneteenth Galveston commemoration, the 46th Al Edwards Juneteenth celebration, will begin at 10.
Well, one of the first events is free and open to the public, and we'll have a gentleman dressed as General Gordon Granger.
The city of Galveston has put out a plan for traffic and safety control for President Biden's visit. They tell us at 3 p.m. Thursday, Broadway will be closed between 19th and 25th Street. The road will be closed until 10 p.m. due to the event here at Reedy Chapel. Sharon Gillens adds there will be room outside for overflow, but this is an event you don't want to miss.
So it is our history. It's Reedy history. It's Galveston history. It's Texas history, and it is a very important part of American history. So for us, Juneteenth is a unifying event because everybody celebrates freedom.
Now, the city tells us there will be other detours and closures on Thursday. Now, for more information on that and other Juneteenth events happening here in Galveston, you can go to our website at fox26houston.com. Reporting in Galveston, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
Well, the Periwinkle Foundation is putting on a summer day camp for children currently being treated or were previously treated at Texas Children's Cancer and Hematology Center. Well, we did speak with the foundation earlier. Anthony Antoine has that report.
More now, if someone at home not familiar with the foundation at all, just kind of give us a lay of the land. What is it about and the mission behind it?
Yeah, the Periwinkle Foundation is a true community of healing. It started 43 years ago as a single week-long summer camp for children living with cancer, and it's turned into an organization that provides now a year-round series of camps, arts, and survivor programs benefiting over 14,000 children, teens, and families annually. So Dr. Paul Gerson, who's our founder, Dr. of Radiology at Texas Children's, was walking the Cancer Center floor at Texas Children's 43 years ago, and he had heard of a camp called Camp Hole in the Wall up in New York, put on Paul Newman. And Paul said, well, if they can do a camp in New York, we can do one bigger in Texas. So they loaded up about 50 kids, took them out to camp. They had the time of their lives. What most importantly has happened is when they got back from camp, the doctors, the nurses, and so forth noticed the change in the kids' optimism about life and living and treatment. And that signature Camp Periwinkle, is going 43 years strong now. So
That's
it's one
amazing,
of
man.
7 amazing camps that really help out patients and families, along with numerous arts and medicine programs that take place 365 days a year.
Can you just talk about the importance of that? Because I think access to summer camps and programs like that for kids who are being treated or have previously been treated for cancer, that might be hard to come by. So this is truly an asset in our community.
Yeah, it's a true asset, and we're privileged. Texas Children's Hospital considers us part of their team. As a matter of fact, a number of the doctors and nurses and medical staff say you can't just heal the disease itself. You have to heal the whole child, and that's the social and emotional well-being of the child. And that's where these programs come in. They give these kids a chance to make decisions on their own, to live life on their own, to try different things, and it just tremendously makes a big difference in their lives.
Yeah, and I see us looking at some video now. I would imagine this is from some of the camps, some of the activities they do. Let's talk about some of the events that the kids take part in over the course of the summer camp.
Yeah, so day camp is going on right now at St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Church. The kids just got back from the Houston Zoo, which they had a tremendous time today. They've got a number of other activities, big rock walls, carnival days, water days on Fridays, a super exciting day. And it's a special time for these kids to just bond and connect with each other. One unique thing about all the camps that we provide throughout the year is the child gets to bring a sibling, because a lot of times a sibling doesn't understand why the one child is getting all the attention. So they meet other kids that are in the same situation, and they develop bonds too that help them through their cancer journey. So it's
I love that.
Lots of tremendous activities happening.
Love that, love that, love that. And also fundraisers, I would imagine a huge part of making sure these kids have these experiences. Do you guys have any fundraisers coming up, and how can people get involved?
Yeah, we sure do. Fundraising's the heart and soul of what makes Periwinkle happen. All of these programs are free of charge to the patients and families that we serve. Previous board members said it best, these kids have paid a pretty steep price for admission, meaning their cancer diagnosis. So it's up us to raise money to make it happen. So if you're into spirits, we've got Iron Bartender taking place right now. We've got Iron Sommelier presented by Court Energy coming up in November. Golf tournaments, a walk, an inaugural walk at Levy Park there in Bel Air. It's presented by Mogus, a FlowServe company. And just all types of ways to get involved to support the programs that we do, because they are 100% free of charge to the patients and families that we serve.
I am blown away. Truth be told, I was unaware of the program until I started kind of researching for today's show, and I'm blown away by what you guys are doing here. This is incredible. Truly.
Well, we're grateful for your support and helping us get the word out, and more kids will have access to our programs thanks to y'all.
All right. Thank you so much, Doug, and please come back if you guys have anything else going on. I want to make sure we get that information out to the people.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Well, just over a week ago, a Netflix documentary about the Astro World tragedy was released. It was a former music festival. It was held right here in Houston, and it was headlined by Travis Scott. Our very own Coco Dominguez also appeared in this documentary, and she spoke with the documentary's executive producer about its impact. Take a listen. Okay, it looks like we don't have her story, but you should check it out on Netflix. It is available now to watch. Well, with the 4th of July just a few weeks away, law enforcement in Fort Worth are preparing for safety concerns that come with that holiday, like fireworks and a rise in violence. Dion Anglin with our Fox station takes a closer look.
Plain and simple. There's laws on the books. You can't possess them, you can't have them, you can't shoot them off, you can't do anything with fireworks. And so they are illegal in the city limits of Fort Worth.
Before we even get to July, Fort Worth police want to minimize any illegal activity that may pop off.
One thing that is very important to note is that we have a lot of celebratory gunfire on 4th of July. We are doing our best to get people to not do that because what goes up comes down.
Interim Police Chief Robert Aldrich told City Council members there are teams of officers and firefighters currently working with neighborhood groups and apartment communities, stressing compliance with the law. They're also increasing the dispatch staff to include trained civilians to handle the typical surge in police calls on July 4th. In recent years, crime has marred some Fort Worth celebrations. In 2023, 3 people were killed and at least 8 others injured when gunfire erupted following a large July 4th holiday event in the Como community. Chief Aldrich says there will be careful monitoring of events throughout the city.
And the calls that we go to are going to be regulated on the type of calls that we get because they're prioritized. So life and death situations, of course, we're going to handle first. And if fireworks calls, sometimes those priorities go down the list a little bit and take us a little bit of time to get to it.
The department will provide increased officer presence for fireworks enforcement, including a command post for a planned Como Homecoming July 4th event, as well the annual Fort Worth 4th at Panther Island. The chief says the fire department will confiscate any illegal fireworks as the two have a unique partnership.
We work very closely together. I know on the 3rd of July, we have set up, strike teams and different teams of the police department, but we partner with the fire department so we can have access into those communities if something does happen.
All right, let's get back to Coco Dominguez talking with the Astro World documentary on Netflix producer.
How has the reaction been from audiences? I know this is global at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. We had absolutely no idea what the reaction would be like. And to be honest with you, like we were anticipating some of that hate coming our way as well. And as you'll know, because we talked about this before it came out, we were preparing every single person that was brave enough to speak out and brave enough to take part in the film. We were preparing them for anything, because you never know. You make these films and you don't know what's going to happen. But we've just been blown away. It has been overwhelmingly positive. I think in a lot of cases, people didn't realize what had actually happened that night. People didn't realize why it happened. And I think people really related to a lot of the people that were in the documentary itself. And there was a huge amount of empathy there, and people took it on board. And for us, like, as someone who, my whole job is to try to tell stories, to know that people understood the story that we were trying to tell, and were able to empathize in some way. In this day and age, for people to understand something and convey an idea is just it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, and the film was what, 1 hour, 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's a long one. Yeah.
No, but I think you guys wrapped it up in a nice, with enough time to kind of tell the story, the countdown, and kind of how the day progressed. And tell us a little bit about your role in it and what you wanted to make sure was conveyed.
Yeah, I'm the executive producer of the film, and what that means is it's slightly different in documentaries. It just means that you sort of oversee the show itself. So, working with the director and the producer and the editor, and actually, to be honest with you, in the edit a lot of the time, and trying to figure out, how do we tell this story? Who do we interview? What way do we do it? Like, how do we film it? What does the cinematography look like? What does the music look like? Because you have Travis's music, but you also need a music to tell the story. And so, also, what does the audience want to know? And really thinking about from the audience's perspective, how are they going to see this? So, trying to answer all those questions and just make the best film possible.
And what did you guys learn from Houston along the way of making this film?
We loved Houston. We loved Houston. I think what I really learned about Houston, I mean, it's a very sad story, but actually I walked away from it from feeling a bit of inspiration, because there is so much in the news, and when you turn on the TV, there's so much negativity about young people. There's so much negativity about teenagers. I don't know if adolescence was a big show in the US, but people going online and all this stuff. Actually, in our story, it was the teenagers, the Houston teenagers, that helped each other. They were looking out for each other. They were trying to help their friends. They were trying to stop the show. They were the ones that stepped up to do something about what was going on. And I found that really inspiring. And I was really happy that we could tell a story about young people that was very positive in many ways, even though obviously it ended terribly for 10 people.
And that's kind of the essence of Houston. I don't remember if you remember me telling you, but Houston's strong. That's kind of how we kind of come together, and tragedies and moments where we really need each other. So I was happy to see the adolescents, as you say, the youth, kind of be there for each other. And the stories you told were only a few of hundreds of stories that were like that, and them helping each other.
Yeah, and it was extraordinary to us because we could see that there were a lot of people that were at that concert that had no idea what was going on, because it was only in one section of the concert. So it was quite possible that, because there were tens of thousands of people there, it's quite possible that you could have gone to the concert and had no idea what happened.
All right. Well, the State Fair of Texas doesn't begin until September, but now we know the lineup of the free concert, which is very exciting. There are more than 100 artists across various genres, including country, R&B, and electropop. Among those names, Wade Brown, TLC, Brian McKnight, and La Mafia. The performances will take place on one of 3 stages. All concerts are included with fair admission, and the State Fair runs from September 26th until October 19th in the Dallas area. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining Houston Live and Local. I'm Caroline Collins. You can catch us back on the news at 9 and 10.
Bye.